I also got food. Because food is delectable. Okay. You know what? Fuck it, let's play some Roblox. Now the question is, what do we do exactly? I know I want to do a tycoon because I really like the tycoons. But at the same time, alright, I'm going to do that. Otherwise, it's going to be a big poopy head. Let's see which one is it. Okay, I'm just gonna search. What the heck? Come on. Tycoon. Video games tycoon, oh my. I'm gonna fall back asleep, have fun on your stream. Okay, have a good one, hope you rest well. Let's see. I love how you have like, this is based off of the amount of playtime, whatever. So if you get like 23,000, 3,000, whatever, almost 4,000, and then like you just slowly start to get it less and less until all of a sudden you go from 1,300 to 600. Okay, but then this one has more, what the heck? We're gonna try Computer Tycoon. Gonna see how this is. Never mind, it's a 2-player. What about Farm Factory Tycoon? Can I? Yes, we can go full screen. Touch to claim. I can't sprint. Fun. Chicken farm. We now have a chicken farm. Anything happen yet? No. Cool. New production line. Ah, and now we have a chicken shitting out eggs. But I have to collect the eggs myself. That egg didn't even make it in. What the hell? You need to drop the box into the car. Where's the car? It's over here. Here we go, it actually gave me some money that time. So, I need 8,000 to do anything. Or do I click? Ah, I click that and then it'll upgrade the amount. Fun, fun. This is Roblox stuff. I can get one for free, let's go. I can spin a wheel in 3 minutes. Get out of here. The fuck you think you're doing? Get your bitch ass out of here. Leave me be. How do you emote? I have absolutely no idea how to emote in this game. Let's turn off the music and start up my own music. Well, we're just going to do stream beats. He points. Not enough cash. These eggs keep falling out. It makes me sad. Well, I need 600. There we go. Yeah, that's right. Get out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Quah. Quah. No. I refuse your golden egg. Get that piece of shit out of here. 720. Let's go. Get a new production line at some point. Free cash. Couldn't see it because it was here. Let's actually. I can probably turn on this camera. All it's hiding is my diamonds. Don't you know? Ah, it's so terrible. Collect 0 cash. Is it gonna deposit? There we go. I'm like, it's in my hands. Can we? I love how it's got auto collect for like all these diamonds. And then I'm just in here like, nah. Who needs it? Okay, how many? It's 2 diamonds. But it gets a bigger number though as time goes on. Let's go, we get more free cash! Fuck you! Almost. We're past level 10. Yo, I can spin the wheel! The turntable has prepared a generous reward. 5 diamonds! Fuck yeah! I feel like anytime I say it like that, it's like the Naruto meme of, oh, by the way, Mom's baking pancakes! Fuck yeah! That one. You know, as everyone knows. Drop the box. Spend 8K. What if I want to spend 22 in your face? I don't know. Hold on, give me 1 sec. Okay. Sorry about that. My father called. Apparently they're wanting me to head over and do some things with them, which isn't just like do things with them, but it's like in the town I grew up in, which I don't know if I've said before, so I'm like whatever. It's called Summerfest. It's in like central Utah. We're also going to just spend a fair bit of cash here, and then we'll get a new production line. Of course, that moves me. Oh, you have to reset. Ah, I see. So it's essentially a way to prestige. Anyways, but they're going to just pick me up and I'll be hanging out there. So she's just doing a quick, like, run to the shops, quote unquote. Not enough cash. Well, maybe you're not enough cash. You ever think about that? But so, with that in mind, we'll play this until I get a text, and then I'll put on some pants, and then I'll go and do that. Because I'm wearing pants, but they're PJ pants, so, you know, not exactly akin to being able to wear outside. Excuse me. What is this? Faster for 2 minutes? No thank you. Super cash? No thank you. Can we get this to 5? Yes. It gives it quite a boost. Also, yes, I know that this is a literal children's game, technically. But hey, someone invested the time into making this. I enjoy it, so let me have this. I think I'm gonna also, as soon as I get enough, whatever it's called. I can spin the wheel again, let's fucking go! As soon as I get enough diamonds, I'm going to get an auto collect, just because, yeah. Okay, so that's maxed out now. I'm assuming then that means I can't do anything with it until I either get this new production line or I max this one out. Not 100% certain which one it is, but we'll see. Also, at some point, I am half tempted to develop my own Roblox tycoon game. Then I should probably make like a text tycoon first, if that makes sense. You know, get experience actually making the thing, and then I can worry about this and making models and all that shit. Also, how inhumane is this? The fact that we just have these chickens and then all of a sudden we're, you know, deciding, hey, you get to be used to sell your eggs. And no, that's not something to be saying about, okay, what I'm trying to say, don't get my words wrong, whatever, is I'm trying to make fun of the fact that it is a literal single chicken, that is just sitting there and being force-fed food, which then it is having to produce eggs by itself. Because when it comes to actual, like, farms and shit like that, they take good care of their animals. Oh, we can get more cash. Let's fucking go. I still don't have enough even with that. We get almost 5,000 a second. Let's go. I mean, then again, it's relatively speaking, but still. Excuse me. I feel like this would be fun to do at some point, though. Like, just play Roblox for like a whole day. Because, okay, one thing, Roblox, obviously it's intended for kids, essentially. At the same time, though, it is a really, like, because back in the day, quote unquote, there was the argument of, oh, which is better, Roblox or Minecraft? I'd have to say they're completely different. Like, yes, they're both games that kids can play, but it's like essentially comparing I don't know. I'm trying to think of like an analogy that doesn't fall on its face. Because the issue with that, you're comparing something where, yes, there is a large amount of creativity allowed and involved. But then, like, you look at this. This could not even be feasible in Minecraft. Just because of the sheer amount of necessities that aren't there in Minecraft. Own 2 factory. Whatever that means. I'm assuming it means this thing, but I can't even get there until I get that done, I'm assuming. Because like you have, like Minecraft you can do a fair bit with, but it does have limitations. Quite stark limitations, even, I might say. Versus something like Roblox, where yes, there are limitations, but it's such a bigger sandbox in the extent of what you're able to do. Like, you can make custom models that aren't limited by literal blocks. Oh, what's this one? 2 times reduction for 2 minutes, let's go! I don't know, there's just, for me, as I said, it's like you're comparing things that aren't necessarily able to be compared. Also, we're gonna go ahead and get our new production line. 2 million, oh my! No, don't want the text box. What are we currently sitting at? A little bit over 6.5K. Yeah, I think that one was definitely the worthwhile one, because it got it to 5 and therefore boosted its production by quite a bit. Yeah, that one actually technically was more worth it. Looking at it now. Thing is also, tycoon games, I'd say get a bad rap, but that's not exactly accurate. The issue with tycoon games is that people are confused as to, like, why would you play something that plays itself? And to an extent, yes. To another extent, numbers go big, make brain happy. In all honesty, that is the main thing that causes tycoons, at least for me and for a lot of people, to... Yes, because that's exactly what I wanted to do. Okay, I actually can press the button and, like, time that. Interesting. Anyways, to get back to what I was saying. The thing with tycoons is, well, yes, they're meant to play themselves. Oh, I didn't even realize I have a house. Can I do anything with that? You will earn... I will earn you idle income. Oh, okay. So I'll actually earn when I'm offline. Produce cash at a few minutes. I'm assuming it's supposed to be every few minutes. Produce cash every few minutes. I could also get a barn and a mill and a water tower. Bah. One use about these production lines having conveyor belts. The fact that I can do that. Also, I will say, one of my favorites in Roblox when it comes to tycoon games, Bee Tycoon. That's the one that got me the idea of like, hey, maybe I could actually make my own tycoon. Simply because you know, there's this type of tycoon, which is what you're going to see a lot more. And also, I say tycoon, it's an idle game is the other thing that you can call it. Anyways though. But the thing is this, you know, it's pretty simplistic. You're able to play with friends, whatever. And that's really all that you need in a tycoon on Roblox. Okay, so this one is able to reset even more. Interesting, interesting. So yes, that one only goes to 1, which would technically make sense, but at the same time, not. But it does, but it doesn't, you know. Earn a shit ton of cash. I'm actually gonna put a level into my other one there. Barely don't have enough. I realize now I can close that. Let's go. My brain is really farting and it sucks. So I'm trying to remember what I was even talking about. But yeah, tycoons are really interesting because you can have them like this, where it's just, you know, thing goes into thing. The thing about Bee Tycoon that I really liked was the fact that, first off, it wasn't just a tycoon, you also had a little bit of like exploration that you had to do. But the bigger thing was the fact that you were building this environment was the main way that you were going about actually like upgrading. It wasn't just, oh, you had a production line. Like there were things that were production lines, but there was a lot more visually interesting. And I think that's what really intrigued me about it. And made me go like, hey, I want to try and make one of these myself. Obviously, haven't done it. Plus, I don't even know where to start when it comes to whatever these things are called, like producing a game in Roblox. Like, I barely understand how to use Unity, not Unity, Unreal. Which arguably, Unreal is technically easier, but at the same time, not. Because I would argue that Unreal is more intensive of a development engine, but Unity is more confusing, at least to me. Mostly it's just, I like the blueprints in Unreal. It makes my life easy. Being able to connect dots literally, essentially, instead of having to... Dang it, I'm barely off of getting that one upgraded. Because for anyone who hasn't used Unity versus Unreal, Unreal has the capability for you to Okay, so I think it's going to be 1, 2, 3, as one would figure. Unreal has the ability for you to use C++ for the programming, but you can also use their blueprint model, which is a hell of a lot easier for a beginner, in my opinion, because you still have to understand how the programming works, more or less, but at the same time, you're able to have a visual representation instead of having to just go and memorize in your head of, oh yeah, this is this, or this is that, or whatever the case is. And again, it's not to say that using any other sort of development style is worse for beginners, but I personally just really like the blueprint model. Okay, let's get this to level 5 and then we'll reset that one. Because otherwise this one's going to take quite a while. Excuse me. Also, the other nice thing about doing this where I'm just playing Roblox is the fact that I can literally just AFK this essentially and talk to chat. Obviously I currently don't have anyone in chat responding, but that's alright. And I guess to go along those lines, whether you're a medium-sized streamer or a small streamer or just starting out, you're going to not necessarily have a whole ton of viewership. I am definitely an example of that. To go along with that though, well, I don't necessarily have viewership. I try to act as if I do. One thing when you're getting into streaming that you need to learn how to do is talk to the void, essentially. Talk to no one and everyone at the same time. Because you're going to run into the issue of, again, not necessarily having people in your chat. And there is, like, if you watch any videos of mine where I've got like a stream VOD or whatever, you're able to tell that there is a slight difference to how I end up like responding and whatever whenever I have viewers versus when I don't. But learning to just talk about nothing but everything at the same time is a useful skill to have. Funnily enough, I remember the first time I went about trying to train myself to do said, you know, talk to nothing and everything at the same time. I don't know if anyone remembers, I think it was a Flash game, the old game Wrestle Jump. It was in the, was it turn the table or pull the table? Flip the table, I can't remember exactly. It was made by a production company. Well, I say company, it was probably just, well, it was an indie company, whatever. But basically the idea was you had one button for your input. And your goal in this specific one, because that was kind of like their whole thing, is every single game that they had, it was a one button input game. In this one, Wrestle Jump, you would play against an opponent. It was a local multiplayer. You would play against your opponent and you would simply extend out your wrestler's legs. And the goal of the game was to force your opponent to land on their head. Like, and it was super cartoony, whatever. Really fun though. But the other thing with it was that I decided just randomly at one point, this was kind of when I was starting to get into trying to do YouTube stuff. Basically, I went and was playing with my sister, and I was trying to commentate as if I was recording a YouTube video. So, you know, you got your big reactions, your whatever else in that regard. You know, trying to have a sort of, I guess, theme to the episode. Like, I guess theme wouldn't be the word, but like storyline. Which that's another thing, is being able to come up with a storyline for a video is always good. Even if there's not necessarily a story. Like again, Wrestle Jump, it's not a story game, it is anything but, excuse me, the idea of having a self-narrated story, essentially. Where you go and make fun of the same thing over again, or you try and get on someone's nerves, or like whatever, that sort of thing. Like, not actually get on their nerves, if that makes sense. Like, it's interesting because the art of video making, because there is an art, I would say, both in editing and in commentating, is a very interesting line to straddle, or to cross, to walk along, that sort of thing. Also, apparently someone's messaging me on Discord. Ah, never mind. It is Ross uploaded a new video. I mean, and in all honesty, thinking about that, yeah, Ross Boomsocks, a creator that I enjoy watching in the League community, is a pretty good example of being able to have that sort of, you know, storyline in a video, which League is, funnily enough, one where, again, like, there's no actual story, but you can make a pretty decent storyline, where he does a lot of sort of meme or just off meta builds in his videos, which then with that allows him to, like, it's not unique, but it is to have different like funny builds to do. Because like he was, I think, one of the first to at least popularize like Tank Teemo. Not necessarily the first to do it, but one of the first to popularize it. $2.5 million. And obviously, for me, I have a decently difficult time coming up with my narrative or my niche, quote unquote. And part of that is because just in general, I don't have one for myself, period. Like, I don't look at myself and go like, oh yes, this is what I do, sort of thing. You know, obviously, of all the things that I do, I'm a YouTube, like, I like to entertain. I like to make YouTube videos and stream on Twitch. But it's not any specific genre that I'm forcing myself into. Dang, 700 profit. 700%, I should say. Because, you know, initially I, funnily enough, was going to be a Minecraft YouTuber, was my idea. The first videos I ever recorded of any nature were for Minecraft. Cow farm. Get building permit? What the heck does that even mean? How do I get a building permit? But yeah, funnily enough, what my initial inspiration for what I wanted to do YouTube wise was actually Dan TDM and his mod reviews, which basically was just, he would load up a mod, have a little story to go along with it. Again, story is good in videos, even if you don't necessarily have one that you've come up with. You can come up with one, but he'd make these like elaborate storylines to go along with his review, where it was basically just, or no, it wasn't a mod review, it was a mod showcase, where he'd just go over 1.5 million different mods and just be like, hey, here's how this works. Like, he'd look on the wikis that the mods were published on to be like, okay, this does this, this does this. Just trying to get as much information to the viewer as possible so that if they were interested in the mod, they could go and play it themselves and be like, oh, hey, yeah, I can see how this works. But they'd already know what to do before loading in. Because I will say one thing with Minecraft mods is you can get a general idea for a lot of them, but at the same time, a lot of them are really confusing as to how to actually use them. Some of the bigger ones are like, there was a genetics mod, I think, where the idea was you would alter your genetic DNA to do X, Y, Z and get these powers, but in order to do it, you had to like skin a cow, or like, it was weird. But again, that was my inspiration, so I would go and try and emulate, I would say, because I don't want to say copy, but at the same time I was like 14, so copy would not be an inaccurate word. Just because, you know, as a 14-year-old, you're not necessarily going to have all that many ideas as to what to do. Plus, it's not bad, I would say, to take inspiration. Like, don't directly copy, I would say, unless it's something that you'd be able to do that to without getting in trouble. For instance, one of the things that I wanted, that I was trying to do with, you know, doing Minecraft stuff, and specifically I really enjoy Minecraft with mods. Then again, in my opinion, to an extent, 1.7.10 is still the prime Minecraft experience, quote unquote. You can fight me on that if you want, I really don't care. Because that was, the reason for that is that was, I would say, the longest running patch of Minecraft was that 1.7.10. And so because of that, that's where all the mods got made, because that was the way that people would make the game new and interesting, was to modify it. Your stats. Playtime. Good heavens. Is that in-game time? I mean, fair enough, but at the same time, oh my gosh. Who got their mom's credit card here? Someone got mom's credit card and ran rampant on farm animal simulator, whatever this one's called. But yeah, no, it's, I mean, for me, I would like to say that my sort of niche is the casual audience. Like, if I had to pick what's my niche, and that's both casual watch slash play. And there's nothing wrong with being any specific type of player or streamer or YouTuber or whatever. Excuse me. Again, what does the building permit mean? Oh, you have to go into the house to get it? Probably. I'm actually gonna check that real quick. No, because that's just idle income. What is the building permit? Ah, new production line. That's probably what it is. And at an extent, it is, I'd say, difficult to be a gaming YouTuber. Like, not to say, oh, this job, relatively speaking, it's not like I'm making enough to afford rent or whatever. But this hobby slash career path, oh, it's so hard. Not necessarily, but the thing with it is it's more difficult than a lot of other creative sort of whatever it's called, than other creative career paths. Not because it's hard to do, but because you have to keep your creativity flowing at a higher rate, I'd say. Like, for instance, take an actor. Like, actors are people who, you know, they dedicate themselves to figuring out how to develop these characters that they will play, whether that be on screen or in theater or whatever. But to go along with that, you know, once the curtain closes, whether figuratively or literally, you can kind of take a step back and be like, okay, I can go about my daily life just doing whatever. It's not to say you can't do that as a YouTuber, but with YouTube, and specifically with streaming, it is a full-time job, whether you realize it or not. Also, it was like 360 something, 320. Let's actually just wait to get that, I think. This should probably push me over, not quite. And it's, again, not to say that acting isn't a full-time job sort of thing. Or no, this is just a new production line, so... Permit pending. What does that even mean? Anyways. A lot of it's also just the type of person, like... It's not easy to get into character, but if you're able to get into a character and that's all you have to do, it's easier than trying to make a personification of yourself. Because obviously I try to be as genuine as possible on stream or in videos or whatever, but at a certain point you can't be fully yourself. Like, for instance, take yesterday. when we were streaming, you know, I was getting angry and whatever, you know, haha, kicks and giggles, streamer gets angry. But to a certain extent, it was like, no, I was getting legitimately like pissed at the game, and I had to quell those emotions to be like, hey, we're on stream, we can calm down, we can, you know, not completely blow up at things, which is arguably difficult to do. Also, I realize, or no, because it's the 5 minutes for the other one. It's like, oh, I realize I'm not even upgrading my other one. And then it's like, oh yeah, because I can't yet. But no, it's interesting being a creative individual, especially in a era of the online infrastructure, I guess you'd say, where everyone is trying to be this super creative, super whatever, to try and grab at people's attention to get views and get income and that sort of thing. Like for me, I hope to turn online entertainment into a career, but I also know that is incredibly difficult to do. And what do I mean by career? I mean, you know, well, I guess career isn't the word. That's confusing there. It would more be online entertainment. For me, that goes above and beyond just doing YouTube and Twitch and social media, but also I want to get into like voice acting and such. I want to get into, you know, making games and doing that sort of thing, where basically I just want to give people a tangible, like if I can give people a tangible thing to enjoy, but at the same time, you know, being able to just say, hey, here's my contribution to the world. And that's the big thing for me, is that at the end of the day, I hope that my time on this hellscape of a planet ends up bringing about joy to other people. That's my main goal in life. That and to raise a family of my own, but obviously that's a little bit more on the personal side of doing things. One minute left on that, okay. Need 84, so I need like, there we go. Ta-da, we're now making a crap ton of money. Oh. Yeah, no, I mean, I tangent at times, obviously. And I hope that my tangenting actually provides something to the world. Let's go, almost got that one to a point where it can reset. Okay, 3, 2, 1, new production line. Okay, once that one hits 5, I think we'll restart the other one in the line. Okay, I actually can click it all the way from over here, that's good. Still can't quite make an indent on that last one. Yeah, we can. Almost 300 million. Ah! Doesn't take too long to get there though. And that should be enough. And now that one's making a lot. I guess how's everyone doing today though? Hope we're all doing well. Hope we all slept well, got some food and water in our systems. So that is always a good thing to do. Because taking care of one's physical health is important along with one's mental health. You need to make certain you're taking care of both, because if you're not taking care of your soul, as one might say. Excuse me. Because in order to take care of one's soul fully, you need to take care of the whole body and mind. As that is what your soul is the combination of the two. And that one is set to reset. Let's get our one boyo fully activated to its top tier though, and then we'll do that. Cool. Oh, so how we like in the philosophical topics. Hopefully it's not boring people, and hopefully it's actually causing people to think a little bit and understand me a little better as well. Like, that's funny. I'm not actually putting anything in there yet. Okay, how much is that making? Not nearly enough, because obviously I just reset it. Huh. It's always an interesting time though when I get into the like super philosophical, like, you know, what is it that I do with my life really? In all honesty, to an extent, that's why I get depressed. Because I focus too much on the what ifs of the future and not enough on the current pluses in my life. Okay, is that making more than that one? It's making enough, I'd say. Philosophize with me. Just stay a moment and realize that the world ain't so bad. Does it have its ups and downs? Oh, hell yeah. But at the end of the day, so long as you have one thing in your life to smile about, it's not necessarily the worst thing. And realistically, you always have something to smile about. Whether that be a roof over your head, a friend who said hi, It's called nature around you. It's like, because even if you're down on your luck and all of that, which a lot of people are, in all honesty, but you know, I try to not take for granted the fact that I do have a roof over my head, I have income, I have the ability to eat every day. You know, even with all the shit that goes on in my head, I try my best to remember that it could be a lot worse. Which is both nice to know and terrifying at the same time, if that makes any sense. Because it's nice to know, hey, I could be living on the streets and I'm not. But it's also kind of like, but if I'm not careful and I don't take care of things properly, I may end up on the streets, you know, that sort of thing. Life is a balancing act. In all honesty, it's a really damn difficult one. You know, obviously, if you've been looking at anything I've been producing online recently, you know that I've been struggling with trying to find a relationship. And the only reason I say struggle is just because I haven't had any luck so far. But to an extent, excuse me, as well, there is something to be said about, you know, I'm trying to fill a void, essentially, that I have, not on the daily necessarily, but that I have to deal with on a semi-constant basis. Let's try and get that furthest one leveled up a little bit. That cool. How dare you dance on my farm. Get out of here, cool. No one likes your face. You and your facedness. You and your blue hair, your little followers that you carry around with you. Oh. Here, let's do this and then we'll do this. $3 billion, let's fucking go. Yeah, life is interesting. That's part of the fun of it, but also a lot of the struggle of it. You know, for me, obviously, as I've said, I've tried to be open online. You know, I still have a lot of, like, if you look at my Twitter, I think my pinned tweet is stuff about struggling with suicidal ideation and all that. Which I still deal with on the daily. Sadly, unlike a broken arm or even cancer to an extent, not to say cancer is less worse or is in any way comparable to, like, you can't really compare cancer to anything because cancer fucking sucks. What I'm trying to get at though is, unlike any sort of physical ailment, whether that be a cold or, you know, whatever, the struggle with mental health issues is, a lot of the time, they don't just go away. You know, there's no, and without a lot of words, and to go along with that, there's also no set remedy. You know, take something like measles or chickenpox or whatever. There's set remedies in the world that are proven to work time and time again. The issue with anything mental health related, though, is it's more akin to something like diabetes, I'd say, where it's not it's not going to kill you unless you let it get out of hand. But at the same time, it sucks to have to deal with, because a lot of the time it will cause inconveniences, or it'll just be a stick in the butt, or I guess that wouldn't be the term to use, but like, it can be an annoyance, or it can even be life-threatening. Again, not to say that they're directly comparable, just trying to give an analogy. But yeah, no, mental health is something that I'm very glad that the world takes seriously, because having struggled with it myself, it's not a fun thing to have to deal with. Okay, 3.8 billion for that next one. Because in and of itself, it is something that you have to deal with. It's not something you can fix or remove or whatever. At least not without having some major physical or mental repercussions. And that'd be like having a surgery to remove a section of your brain or something. Now I'm getting myself all down and depressed. I mean, not necessarily depressed, but just sort of weighted, I guess would be the way to term it, to state it. Let's go. Ah, but I do still have to press that one. Okay. Is there an auto? I don't even think there's an auto collect for this. Why is there an egg out here? I guess now I stand over here. And to an extent, yawning, it's fun. I think part of the reason I am a bit down recently is, what the heck? Is this the thing the whole time? Probably. Well then. Oop. Anything change? Probably. But at the same time, I have no idea. Is this always a thing? Oh, I think because I did the automatic, it unlocked this. I was so confused there for a second. I'm like, what the heck? I think this was there before. What is that? Oh. This is what, 1.8, I think. It's also funny to look at how it's like, yeah, a little bit, and then it'll just jump up like that. New production line. And then big numbers at the end. That's like closest to leveling up this one. Excuse me. Also, the fact that this doesn't have an auto collect is a little sad. Yep, that I believe is my mother. Okay, my mother is on her way, so I'm gonna go ahead and get ready. There you go, we played a little bit of Roblox for fun as well. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a follow here on Twitch to go ahead and get notified next time I go live. You can also find down below panels or links in the About Me to Twitter, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all those shenanigans. Hope you have a wonderful day, evening, afternoon, whatever the case may be for you. And remember to stand tall, reach upwards. And I will see you all more than likely tomorrow. Actually, no, tomorrow you definitely won't see me, because A, it's my birthday. I mean, realistically, I'd probably actually stream because it's my birthday. No, but I'll be at work all day, so yeah, that's fun. Anyways, I will talk to you all later. And hope you have a good one. Au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, and goodbye.